everybody, this is Alicia, joined tonight by my boyfriend, darling Jack, and we're going to be doing another Orville review, Shadow Realms,
Yeah.
episode 2, the Orville from season 3. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So when is season 3 starting?
Oh, it
Have you?
started a week ago. Don't you
Oh,
remember?
it did. Oh, okay. Good. 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 And I'm just making fun of all those people who kept asking that same question for like 3 years straight.
I know. Because my birthday was literally in between season
Yeah.
dropping and this one. So yes.
Hmm.
Season 3 has dropped, folks. It's dropped. We're on season two's the second episode.
Yes.
Yes.
The first one was awesome. The first one had a lot to do with Isaac and Claire. Um,
Yes.
yeah. This one has to do with Claire and a former husband of hers that we've just learned about.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Hello, Chloe. Hello, Big Daddy John. Good to see you both. So yes, we find out Claire was married.
25 years ago or before.
Yes. And he
She was,
wasn't just anybody. He was her actually he was one of her professors when she was apparently in the academy at one
and they
point.
they hit it off and did things that professors and students shouldn't be doing.
It was a little scary, yeah, I'll give it that, Chloe. It was a little scary. I mean, the person that played the Admiral, I recognized him immediately, James Reed. Um I had seen him in a couple of other things before. I'd seen him in Legally Blonde. I'd seen him in all of North and South with Patrick Swayze. I've seen him in a couple things like that. And like I said, to see him in a new role as an admiral, wow, that was a game shocker. I mean, and we're still dealing with the krill. They were supposed to be exploring the nightmarish space of the krill that they say, oh, don't go in there. Kind of like when you tell the kid, don't go in that dark hallway.
Hmm. It's because they have, and the Ancana says that there's demons that come and take people over or whatever.
Yes, that's called the Kalar Expanse. I wrote notes, folks, just so you know. So the Kalar, they're trying to go to the Naklov system, but yeah, they're saying don't go into the Kalar Expanse because that's where the demons live.
Hmm.
And so yeah, I mean, they're saying if you go in there, you're at your own risk, you're at your own peril.
Right.
Because they're
I
saying
think what they said exactly was, we will not stop you, but we will not save you.
exactly, exactly, you're just going at your own risk, kind of thing. Like, oop,
And then before they leave, they say something in their native language, and I think Kelly asks, "What was that?" And they say, "Oh, that's a prayer for the people who are for people who are about to die, or whatever." And then
yes,
they go on their ship and they leave, which was kind of ominous.
yes, exactly. But yeah, I mean, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I thought the Harconium kind of thing that they were looking for, to me, it seemed like it was like the one that they're always referring to at the Dysonium. Maybe it's the Krill counterpart to it. I don't know.
Hmm.
But yeah, but it's that star cluster before they actually go into that part of this region was absolutely gorgeous. I will say
It
that
was,
much.
yeah. I mean, God, they're graphic. As I said, like when I saw the first one in IMAX, and it makes me want to watch all of these other ones in IMAX.
Yes. He got
Yeah,
spoiled to it, folks. He got spoiled to it.
yeah. Because I mean,
But
the graphics just really pop out.
they do. They do. Good point, Big Daddy John. He says a lot of horror reminded me of Earth versus the Spider and also Alien. Yes,
Right?
definitely. It definitely did.
Definitely some Alien. It reminded me of The Fly.
It reminded me
Um,
of that too. Some.
yeah,
It was all of it combined, I think.
yeah. I mean, there was aspects of all of that. I think. Um, yeah, especially when they started to transform, I was just like, every, at first I was thinking, oh, he's turning into like a space fly, but then he starts crawling on the wall like Spider Man, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, is he a space spider? Like,
Yeah,
no,
and
he
then he
doesn't.
shoot like a web, kind of like a spider. Yes, like I
Yeah.
don't know. It's really freaky. It's really, really freaky when you see it.
And that's how it reproduces, is by spitting in people's faces like aliens and stuff.
Yes. Yep. But yeah, that whole region, I wrote it down surprisingly. It was 347 planets, but there's no inhabitants on any single one of those planets, surprisingly.
Fascinating.
So I'm like, huh. So
I
not
mean,
a single.
there's a lot of unexplored stuff to explore. I mean, nothing living, but still stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And they're making first contact, they believe, with this alien distress signal, which is not an alien distress signal.
No, it's a mating call.
Yes, 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 yes. I mean, and you know the classic line, "Don't touch anything."
Hmm.
Well,
I mean,
Christy.
Claire
Mhm.
Claire like said it right offhand. Like Kelly was gonna touch something, and Claire's like, I wouldn't touch anything.
Exactly, because we said that when we were watching it together. We said, I
Yeah,
wouldn't
don't
do
touch
that if
anything.
I were you.
That's exactly what they do in Discovery. They touch everything. It's just like everything on Discovery, they touch it because
Fortunately, in Orville, they have a little bit more wisdom, and they've got the lovely Claire to let them know, don't do that.
hmm
But yeah, you don't want to touch anything because it can kill you.
yes, definitely.
But yes, I mean, it was like, no, 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 don't touch anything because that bacterial spore, it doesn't take effect on you right away.
Nope.
But when it does, oh my God, the extra ice lids.
Yeah, the eye thing was just like whoa, it's creepy. Like when you first see his like when they first show the transformation, it was just like whoa.
It is. I mean, we're like, what the heck is that?
Yeah, that as I said, that's where it started reminding me of The Fly. But
Yes, exactly. But it was creepy. It really was creepy to see that kind of transformation happen. And it's like, uh-oh.
and then it chases John Lamar for a while, and then John does something really creative. I was just like, man, that's good writing. He goes into the brig and locks himself in.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. He locked himself into the frig.
Now here's the thing: he locked himself in the brig. He's got no out. He's got no plan to get out. So he's sitting there in the brig.
Yes,
And
and poor Tala's in the other area. She can't get him
Tal is
out right
somewhere
now.
else, right? So like I don't
Lourdes
even
is
remember.
elsewhere.
I don't remember how Isaac gets there or why Isaac gets there, but Isaac goes there, and Lamar's like, "Hey, get me out of here!" He's like,
What are
Lieutenant,
you doing in there?
why are you on the brig? In the brig, there's like no time to explain. Just get me out. And he doesn't question it. It's not like did the captain put you here or nothing. Like he just lets him out.
Right, exactly. I think he was doing some kind of readings in his lab, maybe. I think it was, but yeah,
Yeah, I can't remember what made him go into that brig. To
right.
yeah, I don't
I
really
think because
remember.
I think he was getting a reading that there was somebody. I think one of those creatures was in there.
Maybe that could be, yeah. But yeah. So Isaac lets him out, and then they go. He goes back to engineering, I believe. Um,
Let me think. I think he did go back to engineering. No, he didn't go to engineering because Claire went to engineering.
Claire went to engineering,
He
so
was he was
he
repairing the power because the power is lost on the ship
right. Okay,
because of the
so yeah, you're right. He's in like a Jeffrey's tube or something like that.
right. I jokingly called it the Wilbur tubes.
Sure, Wilbur tubes.
But no, I mean, yeah, he's having to crawl around because there's hardly any power on the ship, and that's what makes it even scarier
Mhm.
because and unless you see these little ripples or these little bumps and stuff like that, you don't realize what these creatures are until you're boom, boom. And you're like
Yeah, and there's jump
that.
scares. Yeah, there's jump
A lot of
scares.
jump scares, yes,
Yeah, and
a
jump
lot of
scares are
jump
so
scares,
simple, by the way.
yes. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, the first time they went to that place to do the signal and stuff like that, they didn't wear any suits to protect them. It wasn't until when
no.
the admiral got infected that's when they go back and they had those space suits to
And
protect them.
they have like a hazmat spacesuit type of thing going on after that.
Correct.
They should have wore that in the first place, but oh well. That would have saved us the whole plot.
True, true. We've never had the whole episode as
But he
far as we.
was, but I do remember he was like, so he wanted to explore that area. Like that's what that admiral wanted to do. He wanted to personally explore that area. And he just should have
Right,
wore some protective equipment.
exactly. And you could tell he was still crazy about Claire. He wasn't happy the fact the way it ended the way it did.
Yeah.
Apparently, they just dissolved the marriage.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He has a conversation with Isaac. Uh,
Yes, yes. He and Isaac are comparing Claire's story, so to speak,
well,
somewhat.
well, like the admiral is just like, okay. The admiral is just like, now that I'm here and I see her, I realize I might still be in love with her or something like that, or that I haven't gotten over it or whatever. And then he's like, oh, Claire enjoys sexual intercourse. Her favorite positions are.
And he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Stop, stop right there, Isaac! Stop right there! Stop!"
I mean, he starts off actually like really innocent. He's like, Claire's the most important thing to Claire's life are
She
her
likes
kids.
rain,
She likes
dancing,
brains,
singing.
dancing, and sexual intercourse. Her favorite positions.
Yes, yes, that definitely could not be put on network television.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, they don't list any positions. Like he gets interrupted before.
no, but you could tell he was trying to, and then he's like, "Zip it,
Yeah.
zip it."
Mm,
Yeah, but
yeah.
but Claire earlier, she obviously didn't want to talk about him too much because when she's in the the mess
Yeah.
hall area where they're talking about this potential, I guess you would call it like treaty of sorts that they're going to be signing with the Krill. It's basically the next step after that they've signed that
Right.
pact for in order for them to travel through there safely.
Hmm.
And she basically just takes a whole bottle of wine and just walks out.
With Kelly.
And Kelly follows her and says, "You want to talk about this?"
And they
And that's
share a bottle of wine
Chardonnay.
or Chardonnay or whatever, in
Yes.
Claire, in not Claire, in
Kelly's
Kelly's
office.
office.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, exactly. That's how we found out. But he has obviously not letting go of Claire, but she has let go of him because he still
Right.
has the wedding band. He still has the wedding band that they had before.
Yes, you're right. He's kept the wedding band. It's a special metal. It's made out of a special
Yes.
metal.
Yes, called Salayan's Sun Metal. And basically, when I heard the name in my Orville replica script, it refers to the Zalayans with the X,
Hmm.
only it was originally with this S. So
Okay.
I'm wondering if it was some kind of callback to that, maybe. I don't know. I can't prove that.
Hmm.
But it's spelled almost the same way as Zalayan, only as with an S instead of an X.
Right. And so like he he kind of puts a feeler out. Like, is there anything you feel for me? He's like, no. Okay, well, I'll just keep this for luck. And he puts the ring
Yes.
on. But he
Well,
puts
he
it
had
on
it
his
in his pocket. He had it in his pocket at first.
he had it in his pocket, and then he doesn't put it in his ring. He puts it on his pinky. Um,
Yes, he
and
does.
then and then so when he changes, that's how you can tell that one's him because he's got that ring on.
Right, because it's a very rare metal because it's not easily found easily within the systems and everything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and I agree too, John. Like, Isaac's response, but also like the creature's response too. It's like, I guess the creature kind of like looked at it, was like, "Oh no, I can't use you," and he left. And meanwhile, Isaac was just, yeah, you're right. He seemed just intrigued by it. It's like I would have, I agree. I would have thought like Isaac would have tried to fight it, but he didn't even. Yeah, like they just kind of like they just kind of looked at each other and then went on their separate ways.
I think because they can't tap into the circuitry, maybe. That's the only thing I could figure because
That's what I'm thinking
humans,
too.
because of that circuitry, yeah, because it wouldn't be easy to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I don't know how sophisticated these spider fly creatures are. All we know is that they have a space station that looks like a spider somewhat.
Sure. Yeah.
But
By the
how
way, it's a
sophisticated
beautiful looking space. It's ominous
it
looking too. I
was.
love it. It reminds me of my
gorgeous.
castle.
Yes, and it was so the music was so ominous too.
Yeah.
Kind of like a moth to a flame kind of thing. Yeah, good point, Chloe. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they're definitely attracted to him, especially going back to that primal urges with the lagoon kind of thing. They were attracted to Isaac, so Isaac seems to attract the weird. I will say that nicely. So yeah, but yeah, we see Nurse
Including
Parks
Claire.
too. Nurse Parks returns, the one that's always with Claire. Unfortunately, he was turned into one of these creatures and he was
Yes.
killed.
Yes.
No more Nurse Parks.
Bye, Nurse Parks.
I mean, he was there
Thank
for
you
a
for your
little
service.
while. Yes. And there was another one that got killed too.
Yeah, I
Woodson.
don't know which one. That was like a security one.
Yes, his name was Woodson. I wrote it down. Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, but that
I was,
break scene
I was
was
like, I was laughing at myself because I was just like, oh man, he's got a red shirt on. He's gonna die, and then he dies.
right.
Like,
We knew it. We knew it.
that was my
Now,
that was my like literally what I said word for word or something like that. Like,
he said, "Oh, he's a red shirt. He's gonna die."
yeah, and he died like 2 seconds later.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes. Now, because the power outage is too with this, Marcus and Tyra in this too, and they're wondering
Yes.
where their mom is, and she's always told them apparently if anything happens, stay where you are.
Right.
Do they stay where they are?
No. No, because Marcus
No.
apparently just like he doesn't want to stare out into the darkness of out the window because there's no stars out there. So
Right.
like it says it creeps him out or something like that. So he
Yes.
decided to go out and find his mom.
Right.
And Ty went with him.
Yes. Yes, and then just before they can separate to go so-called back to their quarters, that's when one of the creatures starts coming toward them. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, good point. It might be like the Borg. That's true. Remind me of the Borg. You will join us. You will be
Right? Yeah, I agree, John.
Red shirts almost always die. I will say that they don't always die, Chloe, but there is a couple. There are a few exceptions, like Scotty. He never died.
They did do a like a percentage of like all the episodes, like how many
Yes.
people died were red shirts, and it was like maybe about 60%, which is like a majority, but it's not as much as you'd think. Like there were still like gold shirts and blue shirts that died as well.
Exactly, but it was mostly the red shirts, sadly. Yes, I mean, I
Mhm.
know there was one episode where there was a whole away team of red shirts, and unfortunately, none of them survived.
Yeah.
But yeah, but
Now I think technically the Orvilles, they're not red shirts, they're orange. The shirts are
there's
orange. I
both.
think.
There's both. There's actually both. There's red and orange alike. I'll say that.
Oh, okay. Because when I remember the identity stuff, I remember they were wearing orange shirts, but because it was like the lights were red, they looked
Okay.
like red shirts.
Right, gotcha. See, I
But then
believe
that guy that they threw out the airlock, he was like literally wearing an orange shirt.
right now Gordon's is red, and Lamar's is more of an orangish tint, somewhat. Let me see. Hang on. Do I have my book?
Yes, pull out the book. Pull out the Ankava of the Orville. Because that's the only really book we have.
Yes.
We need a season 2, season 3. We need
I know.
We have the Old Testament. We need a New Testament, as well as the Book of Mormon.
Let me see. Yes, so let me see. Let me see. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, remember, also keep in mind, I think Lamar's shirt changes between seasons because he becomes the main engineer by
That's
season
true.
2.
That's true because he got promoted too.
Yeah.
Because he was a lieutenant and now he's a lieutenant commander.
I think so. Because Isaac called him Commander, like Commander Lamar. Why are you in the brig or something like that?
Right. Exactly. Like, what are you doing there? You're not supposed to be in there, are you?
Well, I am surprised Isaac didn't like further question why without just like letting and then but just let him go.
Mm-hmm.
Because you would think we'd be like, did Captain Mercer put you here or Commander Grayson? Like, no, I was trying to hide from the monster. Oh, I will I will release you then.
Yes. Okay. Got my book. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So Lamar's is orange,
Yeah, that's orange.
and Gordon's. Okay. Alar's is red,
That's definitely red.
and
So we got red, orange, green, and blue. Why not yellow or purple?
there's some called a yellow. The purple's the admirals. Remember?
Oh yeah, duh. What the fuck's wrong? Anyways,
Okay. So Gordon's is sort of an orangey red as well.
yeah, his is orangey. His is like
Right.
the Nickelodeon orange. Like,
Almost, yes. And Charlie, the new girl, is an orangey as well.
yeah, but she's not in the book.
No, this was before
She
Charlie joined us.
she'd show up in the Ancona version of the Book of Mormon or the Book of Mormon Ancona version. I don't know. I so it's like okay, season 1 Old Testament, right? Season 2 New Testament, season 3 because because they decided to add a
Yes.
they decided to add a book after the Testament, like Book of Mormon. Fine, whatever.
Yeah, the apocrypha. The apocrypha, that's what they call it.
Even though I'm not a Mormon.
No, neither one of us is. Neither one of us is.
Or I mean, like we could, or it could be the Quran. We could, if you want to replace it with a Muslim. Let's not talk about religion. Anyways,
Anyway, but yeah, like I said, these creatures are a little freaky when they're in fly spider mode.
yes, when they fully transform, they're like, ugh. They're monsters basically. They look
Yes.
they look kind of like flies. They look kind of like spiders. You can't really tell. They still keep all 4 of their limbs though. They don't grow any extra limbs or anything like that. It's just
No, but they just grow extra
extra
eyes.
eyes, and they spit in your face, and that's how they reproduce, and they turn you into
Yeah.
one of them.
Mm-hmm. Either way, it's disgusting. I was like, ugh. But yeah,
And yeah,
unfortunately,
he gets they.
doesn't
There's
survive.
only yeah. So after the admiral, I think only 2 other people get. Am I
Right.
right? After
Parks did, and I know Woodson did, and I think there was at least 2 others as well that got infected that we didn't see, obviously.
okay, and then they try to get like like Ty and Marcus. They try to get Lamar. They couldn't get him. So like oh, and then they try to get Talia. Talia?
Yes, that's the reason why. That's why she and Lamar separated. That's why he ended up in the brig area
Yeah,
too.
they tried to get her, but she like kicked their asses
She did. They
with
underestimated her.
ease.
She's like, she's like,
He was like
next.
he tossed her. I mean, like she tossed him so hard, like you could see how bad the CG turned bad for a second. You know what I mean? Like it was like, oh man, they had one more pass on the CG right there that could have made it more realistic. but
Sure,
still, I
sure.
mean, like yeah, like
Which is funny when they do that. When it was kind of funny when they did that. When Claire's saying she needs a cure and everything, that she says, I need. That's going to take weeks and everything like that. And not Laura. Tala walks into the sick bay with carrying
with
this
carrying
creature.
one of this. Yeah, perfect timing, perfect writing. It's a little contrived, but I liked it. I liked it.
It was perfect. It worked
Yeah,
well. It worked beautifully.
it did, especially for timing.
It did. It really did. But we didn't see a lot of Gordon in this episode. We didn't see a lot of Charlie.
No, there was a
No
couple lines
Clyde.
from each of them. Otherwise, yeah, no Clyde. I don't see Clyde at all since
No,
this
we haven't seen him since.
or Topa. I know Topa will show up.
Yes, that's coming up in a future episode. So yeah, but a lot happened. It was definitely a Claire-centered episode for sure because it involved
Mhm.
her and her ex-husband. I
Yeah,
mean, he's
and
obviously not the father of her children. Sorry to be to cut you off, darling.
no, no, no. She's. I mean, as I said, like this was 25 years ago, and since then, like he's had Marcus and Ty, and they're just one's still a child, one's a teenager. So, like, obviously, no, neither of them are 25 and 30-year olds. So, obviously,
Exactly.
obviously, she had the children after. Uh,
Right.
although I,
Exactly.
uh, although I did like it did make me wonder is like, are they going to try and sell this off as the father? Because I'm not buying it.
There's no way because he was thinking when she was saying she had children. Then when she the last time she saw him was 25 years. We're like, yeah,
That's
that's
why.
definitely
Yeah,
not.
yeah. So, but I mean, I'm glad
That's
they didn't go that route. They were just like, oh, like this was an ex husband that I had before I had kids.
that's funny, Big Daddy John. Tyler laid the smackdown on him.
Oh yeah,
She
oh
did.
yeah,
She did. She did. She did. She laid him down, let him know.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
today, not today.
She she laid a boot in that thing's candy ass. Whatever it was, a fly or whatever. Flies and spiders, if they have candy asses, like he put his boot up that candy ass. I say candy ass
Mhm.
because we're doing the rock impressions now.
Yep.
Finally, the rock has come back to
Yep.
San
And she was
Diego.
literally becoming like Kane on him. Where she body slammed like in case you guys didn't know, we watched Kane open in one day. We did.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. No, yeah. Wrestling wise, okay. Kane is my favorite wrestler. Not necessarily my favorite wrestler. He's my favorite entrance.
right,
And
right, right, right.
I got to see his entrance live once, and it's with the fire and everything. It's chef's kiss. It's perfect.
Perfect. Yes, 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 yes. But yeah, yeah, it was a good episode. I mean, but the timing on this one went so quickly too. I
Hmm.
mean, the pacing. I mean, this was an hour and 4
8 minutes.
minutes. Okay, 8 minutes.
Yeah,
It went quick though. It really did.
it did. Yeah, it doesn't drag like the pace. Like the pacing in these shows are well done. Well done.
Yes.
Um, they don't feel like they drag. I don't know. I mean, maybe once we get to like the ones that are like an hour and a half, we might notice more. But um, so far, like I'm just really into it. I know there's people who are like, oh, but I wanted more. I started to miss the comedy, and I think it's coming. I mean, there was comedy in the first two. It was much more subtle.
Yes.
They were a little more. They show a little more comedy in this one. They did the "May the Force be with you" thing.
Yes, that was a
Um,
good speech. That was a good speech from Ed. Yes, that was a nice
yeah,
one.
yeah. Even with the Star Wars reference.
Yes. That was a good speech that he gave though, despite all that.
Yeah, so you had that. You had like Isaac trying to share like sex stories with the Admiral.
And you're like, wait a minute here, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. That's no, 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 no.
Yeah, the timing was still a lot of that timing is comedic, and I think that's on purpose. Um,
Yes.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no Yaffet. That's true. No Yaffet still. I mean, I think there was one time I thought we saw Yaffet, but then we realized no, that was actually a crew member instead.
No, yeah,
It was actually
there was no
it
Yap
was
at this
Tala
episode.
in the her spacesuit.
But yeah, that's fine. We'll see him later, I'm sure. Um,
Definitely, definitely. But yeah, I mean,
I agree. I liked Kane better when he had his mask on. I liked him better before he was like Mayor Glenn Jacobs or whatever the fuck he is now.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
but
that was
but Kane with the mask on, like he had a mystique to him that that not a lot of those other wrestlers had. Um, and I missed that.
Right.
Now that I know he's babyface Glenn Jacobs and not scarred Kane, scarred and haunted Kane,
Right. Yeah, not Undertaker's little brother kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean,
But I mean,
it
like
was,
it was always an act anyway. So
of course,
the,
of
the wrestling
course.
stuff, right?
Right. But yeah. But oh yeah, yeah. The reason why they knew something was up was the admiral. One of the things before he started going into when besides the eye bit, somehow these fly creature spider things that they could become invisible too. That was another thing that I remember because that's the reason why the power went out into the ship because the power started going out and they're like, can you stop it? And Board is like saying this is level 9 priority quotes that are doing this kind of thing. And they're like,
Hmm. You can't
oh,
override them,
it's the admiral that's doing it,
right?
but he's invisible somewhere. But Claire stepped up the A game. She goes into engineering and she confronts him and lets him know after she has Tala scan for that metal in the
Hmm.
ring. And she basically
Yeah,
lets him know what you're doing. Either either stand down or
because there's a
we're gonna
ship
kill
coming.
you.
There's a ship coming. That's why, and so she's giving him a choice.
Hmm.
When your ship comes, you guys go, and we go our separate ways, or we kill you all right now because we have this toxin.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. I mean, apparently she can't obviously cure them because obviously once they get to a certain point, once you're with that injection, there's no way you can get back.
yeah. So, and apparently there was no way to really reverse what's happened, at least for now.
Right.
They might come back to this later on in the season, or or whatever, and they might have something. They might have a follow up, but if not,
Maybe.
um, hey, I liked it the way it was.
Me too. Me
Yeah.
too. But yeah, now I'm curious what the next one's going to be about. All we know is it's called Mortality Paradox. Don't know much about it.
So every time I think about like a name like that, it makes me it reminds me of the TNG episode where the Enterprise blows up a bunch of times. It's like a time loop,
Right. Hmm.
and every time it happens again, they remember a little bit more about what
Hmm.
happens, and then eventually they're able to get themselves out of it. I don't know if it's going to be anything like that. I'm just shooting spitballs. Yeah.
Yeah, we can only speculate right now. We really don't know. I mean, there's no previews. We really don't see previews for them.
So we don't know yet, but hopefully, hopefully, I do hear that the people who are missing the humor that season 1 and 2 had, this episode is going to be one with some decent humor in it.
Right.
Um, so
I mean, we still have little glimpses of the humor, yes, but I'm glad it's not overly heavy with the humor either, and I'm glad it's not overly heavy with the drama
I
either.
I do like the idea of this thing maturing from what Fox wanted it to be to what it
Hmm.
was always supposed to be.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
yeah, so I'm okay with it. Not, I mean, like what's good about it is that if they want to, they can add episodes with all sorts of comedy in it, and then when they want to, they can add episodes with all sorts of drama in it. They could still mix the two up. I mean, that's
Hmm.
still part of the formula. It's just like I think at this point they're experimenting with more drama, with like real drama, trying to
Hmm.
make trying to. I think they're trying to surpass what Star Trek did.
Yes, and I think they're still doing that even with this second episode. I think they surpassed it still.
Oh no, they did, they did. Yeah, like I know that there was a couple of episodes where they tried to do that in classic Trek, and it didn't exactly work out
Hmm.
the way, in that way. One of them was an Enterprise episode with the Vulcans who had
Yes,
gone crazy in season 3. I think there was a
I
bunch of
think so.
Vulcans that gone crazy, and
Yes.
they shot a lot of that as if it was like a horror,
Hmm.
but I don't know, something about it just didn't. I like
Yeah.
like I've rewatched it recently, and it's a decent episode, but it doesn't catch my attention. It didn't
Right.
catch my attention like this one did. And
Hmm.
I think it has to, probably because of the graphics, the
I
CG.
think so.
I mean, back like I mean, what they did then was they made Vulcans look like zombies, but it was all practical makeup.
Right.
It didn't look too freaky to me, to be honest. It was just like, but that fly extra eyes and shit, that was just like, whoa.
That was definitely freaky. That was definitely freaky for sure. I
And
mean,
so yeah, I am glad we're in a time now where like the CG can maybe make up for something that it would have been a good story if not for like, you know, practical aspects or whatever.
hmm definitely. I mean, and the visual effects that went with it was really, really, really. They really have stepped it up for sure.
They certainly have. I'm glad now that I'm okay. You know, like I'm not a big fan of acquisitions.
Hmm.
I wasn't a fan of, Lucasfilm acquiring, Disney acquiring Lucasfilm and
Correct.
Marvel and all these other and 20th Century Fox is like one of their biggest acquisitions.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so I didn't like that idea. Uh, but I do like that now that it's happened, the Orville is benefiting because now, you know, they're they're not airing it on 20th century whatever TV anymore. It's online on Hulu or and whatnot. But Hulu, I mean, you don't necessarily need to make 3 to 5 million viewers to be successful on Hulu. You know what I
Right.
mean? Whereas
Exactly.
the Orville started off with like 5 million ratings, went down to
Hmm.
3 million when it came to
Hmm.
ratings, and then suddenly like it was in danger of being canceled.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. But now
So
it's doing well. It
so
seems like.
I do think that it will, you know like no, it's not carved in stone, just but I do think I am pretty confident that it's good enough. I think it's popular enough, should be popular enough to where it'll warrant a fourth season.
Definitely, because so far we've seen in Australia and also over in Canada that they've got number one in the ratings.
Yes, yes,
And I'm seeing on Hulu that that is one of the top things that they're recommended on the front page.
good, good, good. I
So
really
good.
hope I really hope they have another season.
Definitely, definitely for sure. I really, really hope they. I hope really hope they can pull it off. I mean, yeah, this was definitely worth waiting for.
Oh yes, this was worth it. And that's one of the things that I feel like a lot of these people who are they get impatient, they lose interest or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I get it. Like, yeah, like they said it was going to come out, but then like circumstances and they couldn't make that
Right.
promise. I get that. Um, and like the only thing I could say is like, I mean, this is I like both seasons, but this turns out to be the best season.
Exactly.
This turns out to be the
Exactly.
best season. And if you don't watch this, you're going to miss out on the best season. And I'm not kidding. This
You
is a
are.
guy who like I don't fall for hyperbole whenever they talk about, oh, this next season of Discovery is going to be like, it's gonna finally bring us back to our Star Trek roots, and it's like, oh yeah, I can't wait. No, like, no, I don't buy into that shit. Um, and I did have this wait and see attitude when it came to like Seth and everybody talking about, oh, this is going to be the best season ever. It's like I'm gonna wait and see. I believe him now. 2 episodes in, I believe him.
Yes, especially when you saw the first one in IMAX. That one I think helped cinch it for you.
Well, they did see. Okay, so yeah, they did. They not Fox, not Fox, not Hulu or Seth or any of the produce. It was Collider. It was Collider. They set up
Right.
this. They set up this event where we can watch the Orville 2 hours before it officially uh, but watching it in IMAX in the IMAX headquarters in Los Angeles.
Hmm.
And I got to go and I got to meet Penny Johnson and I got to meet Ann Winters and I got to meet David Goodman.
Yes, you did.
And they had a whole interview afterwards. They had a whole Q&A. I didn't ask any questions, but I was behind the, not behind the camera as in like shooting it. I was sitting behind the guy who was shooting the camera. or in, yeah,
Yes, he's
that's how
behind the camera writer
that's,
operator.
that's basically how close I was, and I could see them like filming it. But so that video is out now. That Collider video is out now. It's a
It is.
40-minute interview that happens immediately after the screening.
Hmm.
Um, Penny Johnson is the I mean she's the most energetic of the three.
She is. She's very much a live wire. I mean,
Like
I've seen most of it, and I'm
like
recommending.
yeah, like her energy like it just makes you like everything about her. She's just wonderful.
And Anne is obviously, she's definitely, you can tell she's trying to find her stride and her niche out there.
Well, she's still pretty young, but she was very excited about that about that episode because she was like one of the main centers of that episode. And
Correct.
as I said, she did such a good job that when she, for some reason, when they introduced her, I expected like her to come out and just kind of be as stiff as that character was. No, she came out as I said. I think I called her this big bundle of happiness and joy. No, this tiny bundle because
Tiny.
she was so skinny. You know what I mean? This tiny
Yes.
bundle of happiness and joy just pops out and just bounces around and it's like, oh, she's pleasant. I like her. It's like, yeah,
Yes. She seems like a fun person. And David is so David. He's obviously trying not to spoil things, but you can tell wheels are
yeah.
turning in his head where he wants to say stuff, but he's not saying anything.
Yeah, so if you want to see that interview is I've retweeted it, but you can also go to YouTube and look up Collider Orville interview whatever, and I'm sure
Yes.
you'll find it.
And I have it retweeted as well, folks. It's there too. I retweeted it as well on both my Twitter accounts, the Orville one and my main one.
But yeah, I'll say even if they didn't like give me that opportunity, I still would have loved that episode. Even just watching it on this tiny screen, I still would have loved it. I just know that I love it even more because I saw it on that biggest format.
Yes,
Yeah. Um,
exactly.
yeah. So, but yeah, the pacing, both episodes, I give them a 10 for those, and the
Definitely.
story wise, I give them 9 on both.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
I mean, yeah, I can't wait to see episode 3. So, yeah, the next thing that's coming up, folks, we are not doing a Sunday stream, but we are doing something special on Wednesday night at
yes,
7:30.
please join us for that.
We would love to have you, but yeah,
Yes,
that'll
it's
be here
it's
on.
it's not going to really be Orville themed, but
No,
still, please join us.
please, we'd love to have you. And also, we will do another review next week as well. Probably Friday. It seems to be like we'll be doing it on Friday, probably about 7:30. We'll be back with yeah, the Paradox one. We'll be doing that one.
Mhm.
But we look forward to
What-
seeing you guys on Wednesday night.
Yep, yeah, agreed. It'll be
Alrighty.
fun.
Yes, it will. I think you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised.
I didn't even bother with Kenobi, John. I didn't even bother with it.
Nah. Alrighty. Well, you guys have a good night. Me and Jack will see you another time. Good night, everyone.
Like,